Hi everyone, and welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk. And I am super excited to be officially recapping the first round of the national tournament. Of course, second round games are being played today, and I'll be recording a video tomorrow going over all of that. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And it's been a very exciting, really, the last 24 hours, except, here in Mount Vernon, Ohio, we had a horrific windstorm yesterday and knocked out power for nearly 11 hours. And thankfully, we were not here to be a part of that because we were down at Rio Grande yesterday to watch the two women's basketball games, Rio Grande, Rochester Christian, and Indiana Wesleyan and University of the Cumberlands. And I will be talking more about those games in my next video, and I'll also be sharing with you my updated bracket in my national tournament. I'm not going to directly show it to you, but I will be going over all of the games that I've gotten right so far out of the 24 games that have been played, at least just on the women's side. Now here on the men's side, we're going to be recapping the first round games from yesterday just on the men's side, and I'm going to be doing this as long as the Crossroads League schools are still in the hunt. And then once, if all of the Crossroads League schools on both the men and the women's side are no longer in the hunt, I will still be recording videos after each individual round going over my updated bracket with you, and so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And I'm very excited because we are in the heart of the national tournament. And of course, these episodes that I had planned, I thought that maybe we would stay overnight around Rio Grande last night, maybe that we would stay over in a hotel, and it didn't work out that way. But we did, we did drive back and forth, or at least drove down yesterday and then drove back after the games last night, because it really was only about a 3-hour drive, which wasn't too terribly bad. And now, the only, really downside to that was we did not get out of Rio Grande until nearly 11 last night, and did not get home until 2 o'clock this morning. So it was the second longest that I've ever stayed up at night. Of course, my longest was way back in 2008 when I did not go to bed until, I believe it was like 20 till 3, I think, before I went to bed back then. Last night I didn't lay down until nearly 2:10, so I apologize if I seem really tired and exhausted while doing these recap videos, which I am. I'm very tired and plan on catching up on sleep tonight, which is going to be a great thing because I only got literally 4 hours of sleep, and it's been it was a very long day yesterday, very long night, and so I guess you can probably understand why I'm quite tired. So our first men's matchup yesterday, we had 1-seeded Grace face off against 16-seed Johnson out of Tennessee, and Grace prevailing here. And this was a close game despite it being a 1 versus 16 matchup, 88-80 the final score here. And looking at stats for Johnson, they didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 45. They struggled from 3 at 26, but they were excellent at free throw line, converting 12 out of 13 for 92%. 21 points on the game for Mason Lockhart, 10 of 14 shooting, 1-1 at the line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block for him. 8 points for Jamar Brown, 3 of 8 shooting, 2 of 6 from deep, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. You had 8 points for Devon Cottle, struggled shooting at 3 of 12, but he had 2 rebounds and 2 assists. 13 points for Jacoby Strozier, 4 of 8 shooting, 5 of 5 at the line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block for him. You had 13 points for him. If I did not mention that, 4 of 8 shooting, 5 of 5 at the line with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Really good balanced numbers there. And then 18 points for Livingston Cross, 6 of 16 shooting, 6 of 7 at the free throw line. He had 14 rebounds, so a double-double for him. 2 assists as well. And then off the bench, you had Garrison. 80 did not score, but he had 3 rebounds, and 12 points for Tucker Patterson. 5 of 8 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep with an assist and a steal. And then leading the way for Grace, you had 20 points for Ian Roush, 6 of 8 shooting, 8 of 8 at the line. He had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. 8 points for Hunter Walston, 3 of 6 shooting with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. You had 10 points for Tyler Roush, 3 of 6 shooting, 4 of 4 at the line with 1 rebound, 3 assists. And Gage Sefton was the leading scorer at 24. I stand corrected. Ian Roush, the second leading scorer at 20. The leading scorer, Gage Sefton, 24 points, 10 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, 2 of 4 at the line, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Really good balanced numbers there. And then off the bench, you had Michael Wellman with 1 rebound in 13 minutes of action. You had 9 points for Cannon Hauser, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 3 rebounds and 5 assists. You had Luke Bricker, 3 minutes of action with a rebound, and Gavin Benton with 13 points, 4 of 9 shooting, 5 of 5 at the line with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. Really, really good to see that. Gray shot 55 from the field, 31 from 3, and they were worse at the free throw line, converting 21 out of 31 for 67. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Huntington, Indiana, where 3-seeded Huntington faced off against 14-seeded Bellevue, and this was a major upset here. And we saw major upsets across the board, not just on the men's side, but the women's side as well, which I will allude to that in my next 2 videos upcoming after this one. And before we dive into this one, I do want to say very quickly that for those of you that are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate that. And any feedback that you may provide me, I truly appreciate. And please, if you are not already subscribed, please do so down below so you do not miss out on any of this important content as we talk about literally all things national tournament over the next 10 days, literally over the next 10 days. So again, this is the place to be over the next 10 days. And then, of course, after the national tournament's over, my final episode of the season will be kind of doing a season recap of all the Crossroads League schools, how well they did, all that good stuff. And I'm going to do both men and women. So again, that is my final episode that I have planned for the very end of the month, so make sure that you are on the lookout for that. It's going to be amazing. So to recap this game, Bellevue and Huntington. Bellevue, a major upset here as a 14 seed, and again, lots of upsets, men and women combined. I'll go over the women here a moment or after this one. 62-58, Bellevue with the upset here. And leading the way, 13 points for Jaden Phillips, 13 points, 5 of 6 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep, 3 rebounds for him, only 1 point for Liam Thompson, which was at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, only 2 points for RJ Smith. He struggled at just 1 of 9, did not make a free throw, but he had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, though. You had Jaden, pardon me, I already mentioned Jaden Phillips, Liam Thompson, RJ Smith, I mentioned them. 9 points for Jermaine Halliburton, 4 of 10 shooting, 1 of 3 at the line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. 5 points for JJ Montgomery, 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Off the bench, Elijah Sherwood with 3 points with a rebound, 7 points for Dang Jal in 8 minutes of action, 3 of 4 shooting with 3 rebounds, 13 points for Mathok, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 at the line, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. And how you spell his name is Mathok, Mathok. And then Jake Lenoir had no statistics, and Connor Moore, 9 points, 18 minutes of action, 3 of 5 shooting, which was all from deep with 3 rebounds. And Bellevue shot excellent all the way around, 45 from the field, 56 from 3, and they really struggled at the free throw line, converting 5 out of 14 for just 35%. And then for Huntington, leading the way was Caden Johnson, 22 points, 9 of 17 shooting, 4-7 at the line. He had 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. 11 points for Miles Good, 3 of 10 shooting, 4-6 at the line with 2 rebounds on a block. Only 3 points for Cade Brenner, but he had a rebound and a steal. 10 points for Keelane Lassisi, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line with 8 rebounds. 4 points for Jackson Paul, struggled shooting at just 1 of 10, but he was a perfect 2 of 2 at the charity stripe. He also had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. And off the bench, you had Landon Beagle with 5 points, struggled shooting at 2 of 6. He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 points for Matthew Spears in 8 minutes of action, 1 of 1 shooting, which was all from deep. And Huntington shot worse from the field at 38, way worse from 3 at 18, and they were better at the free throw line, albeit by not a lot. 13 out of 21 for 61%. I stand corrected, and that was your matchup there. And the next matchup will take us to Georgetown, Kentucky, where Bethel, I believe they were a 3. Actually, I don't remember what seed they were. They played Life out of Georgia. Bethel, the winners here, 75-62. And for Life, they struggled shooting at just just 15% from 3, and they really struggled at the free throw line, converting 11 out of 21 for 52. Leading the way for them, 22 points for Shane Stevenson, 11 of 18 shooting with 9 rebounds and 2 steals. 17 points for Maurice Wright, 6 of 17 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 3 of 5 at the line. He also had 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and 1 block. Only 2 points for Josh Bauer, but he had 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. And you had Brashawn Hall with 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 steals, and 10 points for Calvin Payton. Struggled shooting at 2 of 12, but he was 5 of 5 at the line, 3 rebounds, and a steal. And off the bench, you had Chase Robinson, 2 rebounds in 4 minutes of action. Baki Lecky, 2 points, 8 minutes of action, 1-on-1 shooting. And if I mispronounce his name, I apologize. 2 rebounds and a steal for him. 2 points for Sergio Corda. 1-on-1 shooting, 5 minutes of action with 4 rebounds. And then Leon Doss, 1 minute of action, no statistics. Davenport Cox, 1 minute of action, no statistics. And Mahia Gledek, 3 points and 11 minutes of action with 5 rebounds. And then for Bethel, leading the way for Bethel, 16 points for Colin Comer, 6 of 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 2 of 2 at the line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. 14 points for Bo Jacque and 10 rebounds, so double-double for him. 3 of 4 shooting, 8 of 10 at charity stripe. He also had 2 steals on the block. 12 points for Austin Cricht, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 2 of 4 at the line, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. 11 points for Alonis Pasilius, 5 of 8 shooting with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. Really, really good balanced numbers there. Only 3 points for Luke McBride, but he had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. Off the bench, Mason Bales with 2 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. You had 5 points for Jameer Jefferson, 2 of 4 shooting, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. And then you also had Carter Kent with a rebound and a steal. And then 12 points for Andrew Hedrick, 2 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 6 of 8 at the line, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. And then Alex Ellenson with 2 rebounds and 1 assist. Bethel shot way better from the field at 47, way better from 3 at 36, and they were better at the free throw line, albeit by not a lot, 20 out of 33 for 60%, and that was your matchup there. The next matchup takes us to Orange City, Iowa, where Northwestern, a 4 seed, faced off against 13-seeded Taylor, and it was all Northwestern here, 100-63, pretty self-explanatory. And Taylor shot 39 from the field, 28 from 3, and so they struggled all the way around. 4 of 7 at charity stripe for just 57. 15 points for Anthony McGee, 5 of 9 shooting, 4 of 6 from deep, with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. 4 points for Pete Combs with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. 5 points for Nathan Baker, who started, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 2 points for Carson Gold with 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. And Nate Paulberg, 6 points with 2 rebounds and 1 assist. Off the bench, TJ Davidson did not score, but he had an assist. Anor Wogar, 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 block. 3 points for 11 Smith, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 3 rebounds for him. Joey Heaston, 3 minutes of action, had a steal. Dylan DeLucia, 3 points and 6 minutes of action with 3 rebounds. And Caleb Edwards did not score, but he had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, though. And then Isaiah Day, 17 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep with 2 rebounds. And then, of course, for Northwestern, they had some really good balanced scoring. Jalen Langsey with 32 points, 6 of 8 from deep, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for him. 25 points for Jesse Van Kalsbeek, their leading scorer. 8 of 19 shooting, 9 of 11 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. 9 points for Caleb Booth, 3 of 5 shooting with an assist. 9 points for Manny Hammonds with an assist. And then off the bench, Marcus Kelderman with 2 rebounds and 3 minutes of action. A rebound for Mason Kopic and 1 minute of action. Isaiah Curry got some playing time too. No statistics. Kaysen Bailey, 7 points, 5 of 5 at the line. 1-on-1 shooting with 2 assists, 1 rebound. 3 points for Isaac Cords, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Max Dearborn, 1 rebound as well. Mason Gerlman had 2 points, 1-on-1 shooting. And then Luke Corver, no statistics. Blake Albers had a rebound and 2 minutes of action. And Carter Van Halsen, 3 of 5 shooting with 6 rebounds and 1 steal. And Taylor and Northwestern shot excellent all the way around. 56 from the field, 52 from 3, and really, really good at the free throw line, converting 14 out of 16 for 87.5. And that was your match up there. The final matchup will take us to Lucky Arena in Marion, Indiana, where 2-seeded Indiana Wesleyan faced off against 15-seeded St. Francis of Illinois, and the Wildcats prevailing here in a really good defensive battle, 71-60. They go to 16-1 at home this year. Their only home loss coming to Grace. Iowa will look to keep that going when they host Dalton State out of Georgia, the Roadrunners, later this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And then for St. Francis of Illinois, 38 from the field, 23 from 3, so really not good shooting numbers. And decent at the free throw line, 8 out of 12 for 66. 17 points for Merrick Small, 7 of 18 shooting, 1-1 from deep, 10 rebounds for him, so a double-double. 13 points for DeMarshis Moore, 5 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 at the line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. 6 points for Dakota Jokum, 2 of 2 shooting, 4 steals, 2 rebounds. 10 points for Joffrey Nanali with 2 assists, 1 steal. And Delshawn Sims did not score, but he had 2 steals and 1 rebound. And off the bench, you had Justin Morgan, 4 points with an assist and a block. 2 points for Grayson Harrington with 2 rebounds and an assist. 6 points for Brady Cooper, 3 rebounds for him, and 2 points for Connor Casper with a rebound. And then for the Wildcats, you had 26 points by Cademan Bontrager. Really no surprise here. 26 points for him, 9 rebounds, so nearly a double-double. 1 assist, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 6 of 10 up the line. 5 points for Jake Smith. Struggled shooting at 1 of 6, but he was 2 of 2 at the line with 4 rebounds. 3 points for Millen McCartney with 8 rebounds and 1 assist. 6 points for Isaac Andrews. Also struggled shooting at 1 of 7, but he was 3 of 4 at the line with 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 rebounds. 4 points for DJ Moore, all at the free throw line, though. He also had 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Off the bench, Julius Gizzi only with 3 points, but he had a rebound. 8 points for Crew Gibson, 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line with a rebound and an assist. 4 points for Kevin Sakis, 2 of 2 shooting, 6 rebounds and 1 steal. And then Marcus Ankney, 12 points, 5 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal for him. And the Wildcats shot better from the field at 43, and they were better from 3, albeit by not a lot, at 30. And they were better at the free throw line, converting 19 out of 26 for 73. And that was your matchup there. So that concludes recapping all of the opening round matchups from last night. And again, I did not do a men's bracket. I just did a women's bracket. I'll allude to both of those coming up momentarily. So previewing the games for today, you'll have 6, I believe, yeah, you'll have, I think Southeastern was an 8 seed. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know Grace was a 1 seed. They will meet in a second round at 3:30 this afternoon, and the winner of that game will punch their ticket to Kansas City, Missouri for the Sweet 16 games coming up on Thursday. And then you'll have 10-seeded Dalton State Roadrunners out of Georgia competing with Indiana Wesleyan at 4 o'clock. Again, the winner of that game punches their ticket to Kansas City, Missouri. And then the other game you'll have I believe, 4-seeded I don't remember what seed Georgetown or Bethel were off the top of my head, but those two teams will play each other at 5 o'clock. And again, the winner of that game also punches their ticket to Kansas City, Missouri. So the updated standings on the men's side, of course, Taylor ends their year at 19-11. Huntington ends their year at 22-9. Bethel continues their year at 24-7. The Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan continue their year at 27-5, and Grace continues their year at 29-3. So that is an updated view of all the standings. So coming up momentarily, we are going to recap the women's games from last night. And again, there were lots of upsets there and a lot of women's games coming up today. It all kicks off at 3 o'clock. We have 2 games at 3, 2 games at 5, 1 at 6, and 1 at 7, respectively. So it is going to be a very, very interesting day, or very long day, at least for a lot of these teams. And I will recap those women's games momentarily, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. If you did enjoy this video or find it super helpful and or informative, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any one of those options helps me out greatly. Thanks so much for tuning in this video, and I will see you momentarily with my next video. God bless.